nigga, they busting, nigga. Oh my God.
Hey, this your boy Diggaveli. Welcome back to the channel. Not such a great video right here, guys. Apparently there was some lunatic in Charlotte that ambushed some police officers. Ended up killing about 4 officers and I believe hurting another 4. Prayers for my state of North Carolina. Prayers for the city of Charlotte. This is terrible, man. And you know me, I'm not the best when it comes to liking police officers, man, because I've had a history of getting discriminated against, racially profiled, harassed. I don't had all that stuff happen to me. But I understand that those are just the bad apples. You know, I know a lot of great police officers. I got family, cousins, uncles, and all. My uncle retired as a police officer. I got little cousins now that's becoming stadies. And I believe we need police officers. Anybody's being realistic, we need police officers. We just need to vet the right ones. We don't need to defund no police. We need more funding. You're gonna, especially a place like Charlotte, where the clubs and the bars and stuff, like, you want to be vulnerable when you go out and enjoy yourself. You leave the protection to the police, the people who pay the taxes to protect us and do stuff for us. So, like I said, I don't feel like a lot. I'm not even gonna say a lot of the country, because I don't really think a lot of people feel like that towards cops. But I seen a couple tweets this morning where people were, you know, being real fucking evil with the comments. Like, these are people who died in the line of actually doing their job, protecting other people. This lunatic could have went around killing civilians. So you got to have respect for people that's doing their job, especially that's paid to protect us. Like I said, you got bad, shitty cops out here that's just bad apples. Like, I'm pretty sure if your cousin did something, you wouldn't want people pointing a finger at your whole family, saying your whole family is a piece of shit like that guy. So you got to give cops a chance, man. It's especially like how far the last couple years have we gone with crime and shit. Like, to have that type of disdain for people who lost their life and trying to save people from a maniac, pretty disgusting. Seen a couple of tweets like that. I just wanted to say that because it's pretty disgusting, guys. Let's get into the video.
And welcome back here to Live Now from Fox. We're almost at the bottom of the hour. I'm Andrew Kraft. I want to get into more of these top headlines here. I want to show you this shot there of downtown Charlotte, North Carolina, that community reeling tonight in what has been a horrible and tragic day for law enforcement. We're now learning that a 4th law enforcement officer succumbed to their injuries tonight. That is the latest update that we have here. I want to put up some of these tweets that confirm it. Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department News says this: Officer Joshua Iyer has passed away tonight from his injuries after being shot in the line of duty this afternoon while assisting other officers with the apprehension of a suspect. Officer Iyer faithfully served the CMPD's North Tryon Division for 6 years, and you see there end of watch for Officer Iyer. Remember earlier, as we've been recounting this story and letting you know this story, we brought you the news that 3 officers on a U.S. Marshals task force serving a warrant for a felon wanted for possessing a firearm were killed. We now know that a 4th officer injured in this succumbed to their injuries. Mayor Vi Lyles of Charlotte says this: we're deeply saddened by the tragic loss of Joshua Michael Iyer, who was a loved member of our city family, who dedicated his life to serving our community. My heart breaks for his loved ones, CMPD, and the entire city of Charlotte during this incredibly difficult time here.
And it's crazy because stuff like this is bigger than what you might think it is. Because we've been so polarized politically and all this shit over the past couple of years. The tension in America is like overflowing. And this type of stuff right here, with situations like this, you don't even have to necessarily be directly there. Just knowing shit like this happening around you, it's crazy. PTSD and a lot of the surrounding communities and a lot of other stuff. Because, like, your brain consumes terrible shit day in and day out for the last couple of years like we have. You got to be a strong-minded person to just even stay sane in the times that we're living in right now. And terrible shit like this just makes everything even worse. You know, unfortunately, it's just so crazy because, especially like North Carolina and a place like this, like I know terrible stuff happens everywhere, but we're just not. North Carolina is a chill kind of state. You know, we don't have too much crazy shit. I think the last thing I can even think of comparable to this is the shooting at UNC Charlotte, which is disgusting. But like this stuff, man, it really just hammers home like the type of environment that we're living in right now in this country. Like people aren't scared of consequences anymore at all. You got these young kids, they'll shoot at a cop, kill a cop. There was a 16-year-old at a club in Florida. I think an NFL wide receiver, a Texas wide receiver got shot at that place. What is a 16-year-old doing at a club? Shooting up a club. He's not even old enough to get in. And like this type of stuff, like it's just terrible. I don't usually report on this type of stuff, but it's it's from my home state, and I used to live in Charlotte, so thought I'd bring some awareness to this. But this shit is actually like it just contributes to the terrible atmosphere that we live in.
Let's get a rundown as well very soon here. Oh, Mayor Lyles, going on to say, I ask that all Charlottians join me in uplifting the grieving families, CMPD, and our entire law enforcement community here. So we're going to get a rundown and an update and a summary of how this all transpired today. But as we are now at the bottom of the hour here, 7:30 on the West Coast, 10:30 there in Charlotte, North Carolina. That is the breaking news we are bringing you right now, that a fourth law enforcement officer who responded to this today has succumbed to their injuries. We also know the president was briefed on the shooting as well in North Carolina, in which these multiple law enforcement officers were killed. He also spoke to Governor Roy Cooper on the phone. He expressed his condolences.
Two pieces of shit. Joe, anti-American bitch-ass Biden, and Roy Cooper, one of the worst motherfuckers that ever become governor of North Carolina.
And support for the community. The White House also says, in addition, senior White House officials are in touch with federal, state, and local officials. Fox News correspondent Bill Malugin says this.
They're in touch, okay. The fuck are they gonna do about it? Like, they're in touch. Like, come on, man. The only thing they do is virtue signal like Biden is doing, so that dude don't give a fuck. He hates police. He wouldn't even meet with the head of police and sheriffs of America. He want to defund police and destroy fucking police. But then they want to call him and make it seem like, yo, I'm done with the theatrics, bro. I'm calling that bullshit out.
4 members of law enforcement have now died as a result of a shootout with armed suspects while serving a fugitive warrant in Charlotte today. RIP. Sadly, has to be one of the deadliest days for law enforcement city's history there. We also know President Biden will be traveling to Wilmington, North Carolina on Thursday. No doubt he'll be meeting, most likely, and speaking with some of the law enforcement officers who were involved in this horrible, tragic incident today. Let's get you up to speed on this story.
I don't even know why Biden is coming to fucking North Carolina. We don't like you. We don't fuck with you, bro. Like, the little couple voters that you probably got in North Carolina are all probably LGBT. And that's just I'm just keeping it real.
Tragedy unfolding in North Carolina on Monday after 3 law enforcement officers were shot and killed while serving a warrant at a home in Charlotte. Investigators say the officers were part of a U.S. Marshals task force. They were first shot at as they approached the property. Police returned fire, shooting and killing a man in the front yard. The same one officers were there for, wanted for felony firearm possession.
We have confirmed that the individual that was set up that we were serving the warrant on was the individual who fired the initial shots.
Then more gunfire from inside the home. A 3-hour standoff ensued.
Stepped outside my door, police were running by, and then ambulance started coming in, and they were just going everywhere.
4 Charlotte Mecklenburg officers who responded were also shot while trying to rescue their wounded comrades. 1 currently hospitalized in critical condition. Another member of the task force also wounded during the shootout.
We heard about over 100 gunshots. It sounded like World War III.
Ultimately, a SWAT team arrived on scene, using an armored vehicle to crash into the home. Inside, a woman and a 17-year-old male were taken into custody. Police say a high-powered rifle was found inside that home. Law enforcement tonight grieving the lives that were lost.
Today's an absolute tragic day for the city of Charlotte and for the profession of law enforcement. Today we lost some heroes that are out to just simply trying to keep our community safe.
Kevin Uretsky, Fox News.
Kevin, thanks so much. So you can't even imagine what this community is going through right now. We also learned the officers were first shot at by the wanted suspect as they approached the suburban home there in Charlotte. They killed him in the front yard. A second person then fired on officers from inside of the home where a high-powered rifle was found. A woman and a 17-year-old male were found in the home after a 3-hour standoff that included armored vehicles crashing into the suburban home in this tree-lined neighborhood.
That's crazy. They had to crash that shit with armored cars. Man, what a tragedy. You know, like I said, prayers for my state, man, the city of Charlotte. Prayers for the family, the victims. Damn, man. How much more of this we gonna have? Next thing you know, we might be a third world country, man. We gotta get these commies out of here, man. Get shit back on the right track. I ain't gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna make it too political because it's a tragedy, man. But y'all seen it like I seen it. I'm out.